This is everything you need to know if you're new to Marathon or returning. What to do in runs, the best factions, what to loot, and a lot more. You're going to get ahead early and hit the ground running. I'm Seraph, I don't waste any of your time. Let's get right into it. Let's go over the main goals. How do you get ahead in Marathon? Here are your priorities. Do your contracts. Do your contracts, do your contracts, do your contracts. Contracts not only give XP, which lead to the sweet level up rewards, they also give you faction XP, so you can get permanent character upgrades. Salvage, which is used to buy those upgrades. Faction specific gear like guns or cores. They also progress you in the main story of the game. And the further you get in these contracts, the fewer people you'll be fighting over the same points of interest and the same stuff. Do them, do them, do them. Many of them you're even allowed to die after completing them. Just get them done. Second priority is you need to collect salvage. Salvage is one of the types of loot. We're going to go over all the different types of loot a little bit later. Grab all of it you can. It is used for permanent character upgrades. But you can also use extra for barters. That's buying stuff without actually using your money. You literally cannot get enough of this stuff rabbit. It also stacks really high, which saves you inventory space and vault space. And the third priority, and this might seem kind of strange, but don't focus on gear. Gear will come and it will go. This early, you get ahead by progressing your factions, your faction upgrade trees and contracts. Eventually, they will be dumping gear on you. And if you run out, you can always run a free sponsor kit or do a rook run. More on that later. The final thing you need to know before we dive into specifics is don't sweat losses. Unlike a lot of other shooters, surviving and killing people is not the only way to win Marathon. There are many ways, and we're going to go over all of them in this guide. Don't worry if you die, that is just a piece of the game. Factions. Which different factions you should be focusing on, and some key upgrade nodes you should hit early. First of all, you should begin by doing all of their easy quests. All the factions start with pretty easy quests, so if you do the beginning ones, you'll actually be getting big rewards for very little effort. Things like breaking windows or killing UASC bots. The quests get much harder, so do them all to begin with and specialize later. They will often tell you to go to a specific map, so that will guide where you go. When you start to specialize, here are some key nodes. Upgraded vault space. This is in Cyber Acme. It's so important. Green and blue backpack unlocks. These are also in Cyber Acme. Backpacks are an investment in yourself. Get them. Cradle efficiency. This is through Sekaguchi genetics. This increases how much Cradle XP you get by doing contracts and turning extra gear into Cradle XP. This is another investment in your economy. It's really good. Frag grenade unlock. This one is in Mida. Frag grenades are so good. They had to nerf the heck out of these things, but they are still amazing. They are the kings of close range. The green shield unlocks are very good. Those are a new caloric. Get those key nodes and you will be a step ahead. Super fast at a glance. If you don't want to get too into the specifics, just prioritize things that give you permanent bonuses. Less priority on unlocking guns and gear. You'll find a lot of that stuff. I put Cyber Acme as my number one you want to upgrade. For general stuff like backpacks, vault space, your economy basically. New caloric number 2 for heals and shields, and Sekaguchi genetics for even more economy and investment in your cradle. Those are my top 3. I'll go through these factions in more detail and the best way to level these up in the field in another video. Let's talk about loot in this game. There are 3 main kinds of things you're going to be looting: valuables, salvage, and gear. Valuables, what are they? They are marked with this insignia. They are auto sold upon exfil. When you grab them and you exfil, they're gone. You just get the money for them. You'll never have a valuable in your actual vault. Something to note is that they unlock codex entries a lot of the time if they're higher level, like blue, purple, or gold valuables, if you're into that kind of thing. The second type of loot is salvage. Salvage is so important. I cannot emphasize this enough. This is your priority. You need tons of this stuff. And the excess is used for barters, which actually often gives you more money, more value than the actual valuables. If you need specific salvage for specific upgrades, you can actually track it in the faction upgrade trees. It will show up as a little eye on points of interest on the map that has that salvage. You can also select points of interest on the map to see what kinds of salvage they generally spawn. And the last type of loot you'll see a lot of is gear. This is stuff like guns, weapon attachments, that kind of thing. This stuff is the lowest priority early. Basically, the stuff you're getting is not generally worth keeping over things like salvage. But listen to this is so important. Think of gear as a resource you spend to get contracts done. done. Spend it. Your vault is not a museum. Bring your best stuff that fits the map you're going to and use it to complete contracts. That is its purpose. If you're not using it, you're wasting vault space, completing contracts more slowly, and that can make you fall behind. Use your stuff. And then sort of a separate type of loot is meds. So patch kits and shield charges. Early on, meds, green meds, are very valuable. They cost a lot of money. Buying them is very expensive. You can get around this and give the group a lot of free healing if one person on your team runs a triage, or picking up a lot of depleted meds you find around the map. If you exfil with these in your inventory, they will be auto sold. You can't store depleted meds, so use them. They're a great, albeit slow way to heal kind of when you're out of combat. And the last thing to know about looting is Rook runs. Rook is a special scavenger runner in Marathon. It's basically its own game mode, actually. There are people who play a ton of Rook. I really like Rook. You spawn in solo versus squads. So you're alone, you're up against trios. You're at a disadvantage, but you spawn part of the way through a run. If you're doing a Rook run, you're doing it to get a bunch of gear, a bunch of loot without risking anything. So the best thing you can do is find dead players and loot them, or go to a high value point of interest with arms lockers and find stuff there. Don't worry about dying or extracting early. You're playing with the house's money. It's all good. You can upgrade your Rook by getting capstones from many of the different factions. Your Rook can become very, very, very scary. Hey, if you're finding the video helpful or just enjoy the no fluff style, consider dropping a like and subscribing to the channel so you don't miss a thing. There's also a Discord link in the description if you want to find people to group up with and do runs. That's all. Let's keep going. Let's talk about the maps of Marathon. I do full map guide breakdowns, so check those out, but here's a super quick version. Perimeter. This and Dire Marsh are going to be your bread and butter early on. This is your earliest game map. It is a pretty long range map, so bring a kit that works with that. Think precision rifles, not shotguns. The best loot on perimeter you can find from the Warden, which is like the mini boss of this map, intercept events, and rocket drones. Note that these are not guaranteed spawns, but if they do pop up, they give you really good loot. The next map is Dire Marsh. Dire Marsh is harder than perimeter. It's more difficult to traverse, there's more map hazards, and there's even more players on it. This and Night Marsh will be going interchangeably throughout season 2. The maps are not that similar, so watch out. The best loot you can find on Dire Marsh is going to be through the Warden, which is the mini boss of Dire Marsh. Lockdown events, which is when there's these big red ships that lock down an area that you have to do special stuff there. I have a breakdown for that as well in a separate video. The Anomaly, it gives you really good stuff, but you have to stabilize it and exfil with it. It's a bit of a process. And the rocket drone. Great loot in that thing. Again, these are not guaranteed spawns, so if you see one pop up, grab it. You can get some really good things this way. The next map is Outpost. This is a much later game map. Better loot, even fewer players, and a special locked area above it all called Pinwheel. It's pretty much the whole point of this map. This map is pretty complicated. Again, I have a whole video, in fact, 2 videos that break the whole map down, but there is kind of a lot you need to know to get a handle on this map. It is a little bit later game though. The best loot you can get here is, again, one of those Wardens, the mini boss, Pinwheel, that special locked facility up in the air, and the Convoy event, which is this drone that moves throughout a point of interest and then disappears at the end of it. Night Marsh. This is the new map in season 2. There's a ton going on this map. It's even more complicated. Basically, there is a lot more to do on this map, but it is much harder. It's much scarier. You get a flashlight automatically on this map, but there are other light sources as well. If you're looking for a challenge, this will be the best map for it. The best loot you can get here is from the second floor of Complex, the convoys, and the commanders that drop. Cryo Archive. This is the final map of the game. I'm including it in a beginner's guide just so you know what it is, but Cryo Archive is a special map. It is a raid map, so it is only available certain days of the week. It has by far the best loot in the game. It is full of secret vaults, and there is a boss that is the endgame challenge of the whole game. This map in general is a massive endgame challenge. You won't have to worry about it that much in this beginner guide. Let's go over the different runners. What are they for? What are they good at? And a few very helpful tips. Triage is the medic, but he also has some really good combat abilities. If you like supporting your team from the back, this is the guy to do it. Recon is the bloodhound. She's the point person. She is the best way to hunt down runners. One of the best runners in the game and extremely valuable in close quarters maps. Thief is a repositioner, a spotter. This is kind of your sniper character. Destroyer is one of your pushers, your DPS. Big guns, jumping directly into fights. Vandal is your finisher and your flanker. It is really hard to pin out a Vandal. If you like to be elusive, if you like to get the jump on people, Vandal is the one for you. Assassin is a flanker. Great way to start a fight is by getting one enemy down. This is the runner to do it. Sentinel, the new runner in season 2. Sentinel is an anchor. Great for controlling an area. If you're getting pushed, you want a sentinel on your team. Here are some quick runner tips in general that you really should know. Triage is so good early on for saving money by using his drones to heal people instead of your precious meds. Thief and Assassin are a great combo because Thief can put down her visor and see enemies through Assassin's smoke cloud. And then the last tip is not to focus too hard on your runner abilities. At the end of the day, you do need to just shoot your gun to win a fight. That's your best course of action a lot of the times. Fighting. How do you take a fight? How do you get the most out of it? This is incredibly important. Please write on a sticky note and put it somewhere for yourself. You do not need to take every fight that is offered to you. In fact, this is maybe the #1 way teams early on lose. Think of it like this, okay? On Dire Marsh, there are 6 teams. You're 1 out of 6 teams. If you fight everyone on the map in every game, you will win 17% of your runs. That is no good. It is really hard to do contracts when you are losing 83% of the time. So pick your battles. Figure out what you're actually trying to accomplish with your run instead of just running at enemies with your head cut off. But also, you know what? Live your life. If you like to fight. If you're trying to optimize though, pick your battles. Cradle. This is a new mechanic in season 2. The Cradle is a way of spending your excess XP and gear on permanent upgrades for your runner. The XP in the gear unlocks these points. You spend these points to upgrade the different stats of your runner. Things like revive speed and your heat, which is your stamina. Don't worry, they're fully refundable. The only thing you need to focus on is getting more of these points. Put it into whatever fits your playstyle or whatever runner you're going to be bringing into the next run. But I do want to shout out Endurance for being very, very good, since you use heat, which is your stamina, to get into a lot of fights and to get great positions and stuff. And it's also used for a lot of different runner abilities. You need to have good stats in this or you're going to be at a big disadvantage in fights. And then in this section, I just want to go over some things you might not be familiar with that are pretty special to Marathon, so you know what they are. Your heat, the bar at the center of the screen, as I was just saying, that is your stamina. It counts up though, instead of down like a lot of other games. It is often used for certain runner abilities as well, like Vandal's Slide or Destroyer's Dash. It goes down faster, so you get your stamina back faster when you're not moving, you're crouching, or you're in water or rain. Second tip is that you can pick up down teammates, but you can also revive dead teammates from fully dead after a short amount of time. It just takes a little longer. The next tip is that the less you go in with, the more you can bring out. Think of your inventory not only as the stuff you're bringing in, but also your backpack. If you bring in 2 guns, a shield, full implants, that's space in your inventory that you could have filled up while you're in a run. So don't go in over kitted and don't have space to bring stuff out. And the last thing is extracting. Kind of the heart of an extraction shooter, right? You find a location with this little insignia or this skull. The skulls are guarded extracts. The one with just the arrow, they're unguarded. Guarded extracts will drop a bunch of bots when you activate them. For either of these exfils, you activate them, you wait for 1 minute, and then a circle will appear on the exfil. You have to have at least 1 player standing within that circle for 10 seconds for the exfil to pull you out. Be inside that circle when the 10 seconds runs out. It will still exfil you if you're down, but not if you're dead. Also note that it makes a loud noise and like the whole map can see it, so watch out. To sum it up, if you want the simplest roadmap about what you should be doing in Marathon, do your contracts for all factions. Go to the maps those contracts take you to. Start with Perimeter, graduate to Dire Marsh, then Outpost, then Night Marsh, and Cryo. Get as much salvage as you can all the time. Get as many faction upgrades through those faction upgrade trees as you can. You do all that stuff, you will be miles ahead of anyone who isn't doing it. Hey, that should be a pretty good start. If you enjoyed this video or just the no fluff style, consider dropping a like and subscribing below. The best way to win at Marathon is to find a squad that you click with. I have a Discord of people who are looking to do runs. The link is in the description of this video. We have thousands of members and they're looking to group up. Plus, they've probably watched a bunch of guides on my channel. It's got to be better than randoms. Stay tuned for more guides coming in season 2. Thank you again for watching and I will see you in the next one.